Okay, good afternoon. Whenever you're watching or listening, welcome to another episode of Coaching for Coaches. I'm your host, Miles Grant, founder of Master Coach. In this episode, like any of these episodes, it's primarily a coaching demonstration. It's a chance for you to see how we coach. Obviously, we have a internationally accredited Master Coach program. There are details more around that. You can privately message me if you want to have more info. But what I want to do in these demonstrations is really show you how we do coaching in our world, so that you can experience that if it is your possible intention to move into coaching or to add coaching into your work or your everyday life, or as a secondary line of work or income, whatever it is that is your intention. But also, it's also an opportunity for you to get some coaching for yourself, because I have over the years had private coaching. I have a one-to-one coach now, but I've also sat in on some coaching experiences where I'm not being coached, where I'm a person eavesdropping in a room or on a webinar or on a Zoom. And I've had some of my best breakthroughs where I've been the person listening in. So as I ask Fatiha the questions in a moment, my challenge to you is treat it like you're being coached. And you may say, Miles, why would I want to have coaching? Well, here's what I believe about coaching. I believe coaching is, in many respects, is almost like a doorway into the soul, in the sense that sometimes our whole life is being directed by the things that we think about, the questions that we're asking ourselves. And sometimes all it takes is for somebody to ask a question that you've never answered before that can take your life in a completely different direction. So what I love about coaching is it isn't telling people what to do per se, although I break the rules a little bit in these sessions, I admit, but it is more about allowing a person to intuitively figure out for themselves what's right. Because I think we spend a lot of our lives being told and guided, and do this, don't do that, do this. And coaching for me is a chance to find the answers from within rather than on the outside. So tune in and enjoy this coaching episode. So joined today by the amazing Fatiha. Great to have you with us, Fatiha. Wonderful to have you here.
Thanks, Miles. Thank you. So happy to be here.
Great to have you here. So Fatiha, we've known each other for a while, and I've asked you this question before, but I don't think it ever loses its impact if it's answered congruently and honestly. It is what is the date? I need to check. It's the 11th of January 2024. I don't know what day it is. It's the 11th of January 2024, and let's imagine it were possible for us to fast forward in time to the 11th of January 2025, and whether it were by coincidence or design, you and I are having another conversation. Mm-hmm. And in that conversation, I'm asking you how things are, how life's been, how in general, or coaching. And you say in your world, in your words, things are great. You say in your words, things are better than expected. You say in your words, things are better than they've ever been. You say in your words, life is exactly the way you'd have wanted it to be at this particular moment in your life. And when I ask you, Fatiha, what's your secret? Tell us what we need to know to be able to manifest in the way you've manifested. What's your secret? You say, well, obviously, Miles, there's a lot of things I've been doing that I needed to do, and a lot of things I stopped doing that I needed to stop doing. But we had a pretty impactful conversation, a pretty profound conversation back on the 11th of January, 2024. And it was actually so impactful that it gave me the breakthrough that I needed to create what I've created in the following 12 months. So my question for Tia is simple. For this conversation today to have that big of an impact on you, to be this beneficial for you, for it to be that useful and impactful for you, that it transformed everything over the next 12 months, what would be the headline that we would speak about? What would be the headline thing, the key thing that would make this conversation so extraordinary that it would have that ripple effect in the next 12 months?
I think it will be having breakthroughs in my coaching business, creating, because I already thought about this year to be my action year. So where I'm going to hopefully create, get 12 paid client, and be paid financially secure while I'm doing this. And it's not about financially secure, it's also about being a successful coach, being able to help others, impact people, and contribute to my family, to my friends, to people I know, to my family, the immediate family, whether it's immediate family or my family in Algeria. So I want to make a difference in their life.
Great.
So for me, coaching is no longer just something I'm learning, but it's something that I'm embracing, something that I'm embodying, something that I'm proud to be. So it's about shifting my identity. And being in 1 year, I will be able to finally say I'm practicing life coaching 100%, not just a side business.
Great. What's important to you about it being 100% and not a side business for Tia? What's the significance behind that?
I saw what coaching made a difference in my life, in my being as a person, is in helping me kind of like remove all the layers, kind of like leveling up, having certain level in my attitude, my mental health, in my emotions. So I saw the effect of coaching it did to myself in my relationship with myself and others. So I think with that kind of impact, I would love to get it to other people. And yeah, it's also making a difference in my relationship and how I interact with people, how I'm understanding people better, so I can relate to them. I'm relating much better with them. So those things are really important to me in life. So coaching gave me that opportunity.
Good. Great. You spoke about the aim. This is the breakthrough year, the action year, rather. And you said the target is 12 clients. In terms of moving towards 12 clients for Tia, where would you say you're currently out of integrity? Meaning, where are you doing things that you know that aren't helping, or where are you not doing things that you know would help? What are you? Where are you out of alignment or integrity with that goal?
I think it's putting. I find myself doing a lot of planning. I'm very clear about, for example, how many calls I will be doing this week, or in 2 months, in 3 months. I made some goals where I'm going to have, for example, 6 clients during the next 6 months, and another 6 clients during the other second part of the year. And then I'm clear about what to have in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. So planning and setting goals, I'm very clear about it. But just to putting the effort and putting the time, for me, that's a challenge.
Okay.
So that's where I can find myself out of alignments or integrity.
Fatia, when you think of the word effort, you use the word effort. What are 3 words that spring to mind when you think of the word effort?
Effort is, for me, it's hard work. It's putting the time, the energy.
So hard work, time, energy. Okay.
Mhm.
What would be a word that would be more, I know it's a cliched word, but it feels like the word that's there. What for you would be a word that's more a towards word? You're familiar with NLP, like towards and away from? So effort feels away from. What would be a word that's more towards for you? What would be a word that would have you closer to taking action on the plans, but not feeling like an effort? What would be the opposite of effort? That's the question. What would be the opposite of effort for you? What's the opposite of effort to you, Fatia?
Yeah, I think one way I would say is commitment. That would be, for me, this is an important thing, being committed.
Okay.
So,
and when you, great, love that. When you think about the word effort, though, what would you say is the opposite of the word effort?
the opposite of effort would be just, I wouldn't say would take action, just relax, being in the comfort zone.
Okay.
Yeah, taking it easy.
Got it. How would it feel to focus on growing your coaching practice from an energy and a state of it being relaxed and easy and in your comfort zone? How would that feel?
Oh, it feels frustrating, overwhelmed, sometimes disappointment, kind of like why I'm still not taking any actions.
Okay.
At the same time, there is some self-compassion. Whenever there is something happens, or find myself in a course, or find myself in an aha moment, I just find that, okay, maybe there is a time for me to be powerful, to be successful. And it's just a matter of time now where I'm creating those powerful moments that one day will be to a successful coaching business.
Yes.
For me, it's like a discovery right now. It was a time when I found myself, okay, I've been in education for so many years. Now, a year ago or 2 years ago, I'm switching to a new career which needs a new skills and new strategies. That's something that in my culture I didn't build, or in my life was not there. For me to be that successful life coach I need to build that skills that were missing in my life. So, and this is the time, all these 3 years, it was just me building those skills, creating awareness in myself, building that relationship with myself of patience and confidence, mainly confidence.
Good. Something I want to loop back to, Fatia. I don't think I worded it. Maybe it wasn't clear. You said that the planning and the working on the goals, you enjoy that, and then what comes after that feels like an effort.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked you what would be the opposite of effort, and you said relaxed, easy, and in your comfort zone. And I then said, which I don't think you caught, how would it feel to build your coaching practice from an energy of being relaxed rather than effort? How would that feel?
I got you now. Yeah. I think it would be calm, composed. Yeah.
And how do you feel you would show up in, how do you think you'd show up in growing your coaching business, doing marketing, inviting people to calls, if you're in a state of being relaxed, calm and composed? How do you feel how would that make you feel? How do you think that would make you feel, other people feel that maybe receive an invitation from you?
Yeah, I think I'm getting some aha moments here. Yeah. It's if I understand well, that would be kind of like enjoying, feeling like I'm fulfilled, accomplished, enjoying the process of coaching. Yeah.
Great. Here's what I'd like you to do, Fatia. If you will, I'd like you to close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like you to take 3 deep breaths, deeper than you've maybe taken all day. So 3 really nice deep belly breaths. I'll do them with you. You can open your eyes. Mm-hmm. What I'd like you to do, Fatia, is I'd like you to tell me 3 words that would you because you talked earlier about shifting your identity. We talked about effort. We've talked about the opposite of effort. We've floated some words around. What would be 3 words that in 2024 would define the best of you when it comes to growing your coaching practice? You've said some words like calm, composed, enjoying, fulfilled, relaxed. What would be 3 words that if you lived those words every time you're thinking about doing something to grow your coaching practice, if you lived those 3 words at all times, it would be easier than ever before to get to 12 clients. What would those 3 words be for you, Fatia?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think I came up to engagement, interaction, and contributions. Those are my 3.
Great.
These are 3 that I feel like if I'm really into these, that will give me the clarity, the more clarity I need to create breakthroughs in my coaching business.
Great. Love that. I am curious. I love all those words, by the way. I'm curious if you feel engagement, interaction, and contribution, do you feel that they would be of higher importance than relaxed, easy, calm, composed enjoyment? Would you say those words are above, or what would you say? In terms of helping you generate the right state to grow your coaching practice?
Yeah, definitely in terms of creating that state, being relaxed, okay, and calm and composed would be really top priority to grow my business. And then maybe while being that person, I'm also doing the necessary engagement and interactions and the contribution I needed to make me feel like be that person that is composed and calm and enjoys what she's doing.
Great. And of all those words, engagement, interaction, contribution, calm, composed, relaxed, which words do you feel that you've least lived into up until this point? when it comes to your coaching? Which ones have you lived the least?
It will be enjoyment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. So how about, and if there were a word that could be, which would be more important, to enjoy, to be engaged, to enjoy or to interact, or to enjoy and to contribute? Which one could you take out? Which one is enjoyment more important than?
Enjoyment more important than more important
Could you have enjoyment without engagement?
no.
Could you have enjoyment without interaction?
No.
Could you have enjoyment without contribution?
I think they all relate to each other. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They feel very similar. Engagement and would you say engagement and interaction are very similar words?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So if you had to take one out, which one would you say, which one most resonates with you, engagement or interaction?
Interactions.
Interaction.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do, Atiya. I want you to take those three words, interaction, contribution, and enjoyment, and I want you to ideally put a label. You know this, we've done this before. I want you to put this as a label on your phone that goes off. Probably want it to go off more than once a day. You probably want to set it so that it goes off 2 or 3 times a day. And then put it on repeat. Do you know how to do that?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Put it on repeat, put it 3 times a day. And then the purpose of that is that it interrupts your pattern and it reminds you to live those words, interaction, contribution, and enjoyment. Because I believe that in 2024, if you live in a state of enjoyment when it comes to growing your practice, if you focus on the interaction when you're growing your coaching practice, if you focus on contribution when you're growing your coaching practice, if you live those values every single day or every single moment you're working on your coaching, then it won't be so much of an effort. It will be more enjoyable and interacting and feel more like it's making a contribution. Will you commit to doing that?
Yes, definitely. I did kind of like in my monthly vision images in my notebook. So that's my first thing. So I'm glad to then I put interaction and contribution engagement, but I feel like adding enjoyment will makes a bigger impact on my vision of myself for this year.
Yes. Because remember, Fatia, somewhere inside of you, there's still a child. And not all children, but a lot of children at their core, before they are impacted by adults who've had their inner child diluted, dissolved, deleted, somewhere at the core, you know, like when, you know, a mobile phone, when you can press restore factory settings. I feel that at our core, children, before they've had the beliefs and they've been bogged down by the world, they have that. They have things like enjoyment is important. Like when Sage plays with her toys, enjoyment is important. When your children, they're older now, obviously your children, but I'm sure when your children were little, enjoyment was really important. You'd have encouraged it. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to business, it becomes too serious.
Yeah.
And they lose that. They forget that it's meant to be fun. It's not easy, but it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
And having enjoyment, I feel, is going to serve you better than effort.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've just come up with these words for Tia, and I think it's great to intellectualize the way that we have. But I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. Let's imagine that we have a crystal ball that can kind of show us into the future. And we see the 11th of January 2025. We look in, and you haven't lived those words. You haven't created the coaching business that you ultimately wanted. But the good news is, it's within the reasons why you haven't were within your control. So there were things that you didn't do that you should have done. And there are things that you did do that you shouldn't have done.
Yes.
Let's be real and honest. You know, if you don't achieve your goals in the next 12 months, you know the things within your control that you didn't do that you should have done, or you did do that you shouldn't have done. You already know. I know about my goals. If I don't achieve my outcomes this year, I know what's in my control. I'm not talking about pandemics and weather and touch wood, a family member has an illness. I'm not talking about things like that. Just things within our control. I believe we know why we won't hit our outcomes, because we can connect the dots backwards. People can have the greatest intention in the world to 2024. This is my year. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to be the fittest I've ever been. But if the pattern in the past says that that's not what they've done, then something's got to change. Whether that's in changing their identity, having a new set of words that they're going to live by, having a coach or a mentor, or upgrading the peer group, the people they spend time with. Very, very difficult to defy past history unless something new comes out of us or something new comes into us. So with that said, for Tia, what's in your crystal ball? If you didn't achieve what's in the crystal ball, let's get real and honest so we can deal with it.
I think it would be my mental state. Sometimes when I'm going through some life circumstances, which has been a few in my life, I tend to just lay back and forget about I have my life too, that and my plans. So it will be my mental state. Another one is also my emotions. I feel like I get very weak in certain serious situation. Even though, so those are the main ones.
Okay. On average, if you were to score your mindset on average on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is the best it could be, 0 is the worst it is. What would you say your mindset is on average over the past 12 months?
The past, it's been a 3, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Mm-hmm. And what about your emotional regulation, 0 to 10?
About the same.
Okay. Okay. So why those scores? Like, so the mindset's a 3. Is that a 3 normally, or is that a 3? I think you said something like, you know, often when tough times happen or something bad happens. So are you a 3 when the tough time happens, or would you say it's on average over 12 months it's a 3?
No, it's during the tough times usually. But even though last 2 months I created and kind of made a commitment to myself, even if those times comes, I'm gonna push myself ahead and don't be more than upset or depressed more than 1 hour, or just get it out of your self for 1 hour and then move on. So that's kind of commitment I put to myself, so I don't let myself dragged with those emotions and those situations.
Got it. So let's keep it really simple. Let's apply the kind of master coach philosophy to this. So 3 out of 10. What would be a simple habit that you could do that would bring you to a 4 out of 10 in terms of mindset?
Saying affirmation.
Okay.
Those are the habits I like to keep on doing.
Okay. And then regarding your emotional regulation, a 3 out of 10, what would be a simple habit to take that to a 4 out of 10?
Tapping.
Okay, great.
Tapping I've been doing. And some of the NLP.
Okay.
NLP.
Got it. Now, here's a different question, because for me, habits are they're only as good as the beliefs that are underneath them. So we can logically intellectualize affirmations and tapping, and but here's the thing: you are able to say those things in a heartbeat on a live stream because you know that they're good for you, yet they're not being done, or they're not being done consistently. It's proof that just talking about them and intellectualizing them when things get tough isn't enough. So what I want to ask you now, Fatiha, is let's imagine you had a client who came to you and said, my mindset's a 3 out of 10, my emotional regulation's a 3 out of 10. I know I should be doing affirmations and tapping, but I'm not doing those things as consistently as I would and should. First question, Fatiha, is what would you say to them?
I guess I will be more empath. I will feel what they're going through. I'm not sure what to say on this one. Be compassionate. Just love yourself, and whether you're able to do or not. So just accept yourself.
And here's a different question for Tia. For you to live mindset and emotional regulation at your 10 out of 10, what would be 3 words that you would have to live by?
Three words, that would be self-love. Why do we say the word when we're not judging yourself all the time? And
accepting,
yeah, accepting, Maya. Be self-esteem. It's part of the
let me share with you what I see as an issue with that. I used to have that same frame when I was coaching a person and they had struggles and issues. Like, I'm an empath. You and I, if we were in personality profiles, we're probably a heart. We're probably both very similar. I would empathize with the person. I would show I understand them. I would show compassion to them. Here's the problem with that. Sometimes that feeds the need that's keeping the person stuck. So let me give an example. It's a brutal example, but it's proof that sometimes we need the opposite energy to the energy that we think we need to give. My wife's sister, many years ago, had issues and challenges with her weight. And she got loads of positive affirmations about being enough and that she was enough and she was worthy, and loaded with acceptance to accept the way she was. And actually reinforced her staying the same. And then she got a bully. This is like in her mid-20s. She got like a bully at the gym saying a nasty comment that she heard as she was in the gym. And this was, you know, the kind of thing you wouldn't expect to hear 20-something woman say, but it was really unpleasant. Mm-hmm. And it was very upsetting for her, but it actually then became the catalyst for her to lose a heck of a lot of weight. And although it wasn't done in a healthy place, it was done in a kind of, I'll show you kind of way. It was interesting that the opposite energy created a different result. Mm-hmm. So here's, you know, you're not going to get brutal comments, nastiness from me the way that person did with her. But here's what I see, because this has definitely been true for me. 3 of your things had the word self in. 2 of your things had the word self in. Self-love, self-esteem. Here's the problem with things to do with self. If I'm focused on self, I'm not focused on you. One of your words for your coaching was contribution. Here's what I've learned. When I'm helping others, I'm too busy to be in my own head about myself. Maybe you can relate. When I'm helping other people, when I'm doing things for other people, whether it's Sage or Zen or Sati or coaching you right now, I can't think about my stuff that's going on for me right now because I'm too busy serving you. So I'm not in my head. I'm not thinking about self-esteem and self-worth because I'm too busy contributing to you. So how about focusing even more on living those words, contribution, interaction, enjoyment with your coaching, because then you're less likely to be in your head and more in your heart.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
You know, there's a time and a place for feeling. There's a time and a place for therapy. I've had a lot of it. But I also think, I wonder why doctors and nurses that work 18-hour shifts all seem to be so happy because they spend 18 hours helping people. Why is it that people in the other side of the world, in developing countries, working in hospitals where kids have got malaria and have and disfigured faces, why do those doctors and nurses seem so happy? Because they're doing good for other people. So how about you, and I don't mean make yourself so busy that you're burnt out. How about this year you focus on serving so much that you don't have to think about yourself as much because you're too busy living one of your values for this year, which is contribution. And actually our human needs, according to Tony Robbins for TIA, would state that when we're living in the 2 highest needs of contribution and growth, and you chose one of those words as your 3, when we're growing and we're serving other people and making a difference, and we know that we have a purpose, everything else just kind of seems to not be as significant.
Yeah, definitely. When I heard you say this, just made me realize the moments where I was, and this is just going to be, so I'm going to open up to this, where I found myself on those times I was just thinking about myself. And then, when I have that kind of awareness in that moment, I say to myself, no, this is the time to get out of yourself and do something for others, whether it's taking care of my son, okay, instead of being in my head or being into my emotions. So in those times, I found myself, okay, no, this is not the time. This is the time to move, for you to move on. okay, go take care of your son, for example, go for a walk, do a course maybe, connect with a person, with a friend. And I find myself so much better after that. So I can really relate when you're saying, yeah, those words is all about self. And if I will be the time to use contribution with enjoyments. Yeah.
So how about in 2024, Fatia, you make a contribution in your coaching practice the way that you make a contribution to your son?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to do that. I can feel it this year. It's totally different in my gut, in my feeling, in my body. I can feel is this year is different. The way I see myself into my coaching, into helping other people, and embracing the word sale and serving, especially the word serving. For me, it was kind of like, for a while, it was like a frightening thing. But now I have the courage and I have the confidence to be able to do that. It's the same way I've been where I was a manager and helping teachers, and I was serving them and shifting my knowledge to them and working with them as a team. So usually, sometimes I visualize myself in those moments, and how can I be now as if I'm with those teachers. So I don't know if I'm getting myself clear here. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Fatia, I'm going to take you off the coaching hot seat. I feel that sometimes we can overcoach. Coaching, I said this in a broadcast a couple of days ago, coaching doesn't always have to be magical, but there's always some magic in there. And it feels like now's the right time to take you off the hot seat. So thank you, Fatia. Thank you for being here, and looking forward to seeing your growth this year.
Thank you. Thank you much. That was amazing. I have a few aha moments. Yeah. I didn't realize I was putting into engagement, contribution, and interaction without really the word was missing the enjoyment and fun.
Yes.
And having to realize doing those things, interaction, contribution, with some kind of enjoyment and fun will create a much better journey for me as a coach.
Absolutely. Well done, Fatia.
Thanks, Miles. Thank you.